9:15, so we should start. Well, how's your day? Are we excited?
Yes.
Okay, let's coming together, sharing for the first time. So without further ado, today's theme is my language, my identity, which I already addressed. Cambodian we say Jimrip Sua, and I get to know a little bit of Thai and
My father was Scottish. Our ancestors have been in this country and roamed these lands for many, many thousands of years, and in such as this I would like to acknowledge the traditional owners of this land, the Cabrogal people of the Darug Nation, and to pay our respects to their elders, past, present, and to those of our own. And those who wish, please stand for a minute's silence.
Yeridu Marung. That is not my language, that is Wiradjuri language for day good. As with many languages around the world, the words are mixed up a little bit. So it's the Wiradjuri way of saying good day. My wife is Wiradjuri, which is why I've spent time learning her language. I am a Narragaow man. I am from, my mob come from the Snowy Mountains, right down the south end on the Victorian border. My father and grandfather were born in a little town called Delegate, 8 miles out of Delegate. So, as you pick up from me now, if you like, we'll hang around until the first break. So if somebody wants to come and talk to us during that break, please do. My role today was just to explain the difference between the acknowledgement and the welcome to country. And we've laid out some artefacts if you want to have a look at those. We can explain what they represent later on during the break. I'll close now by saying Mandangawu, which is also Wiradjuri, but thank you.
Such as this, and that's due to a special initiative that started 2 years ago called Communities United Through Language. On top of the grants that your schools receive for holding community languages classes, we now have in the Community Languages Schools program special funding to hold professional development workshops.
They're out of class. They have a big community for immersions or for learning.
Piama from Burmese community, could we please welcome her to the stage? So, their journey with learning their mother language and the challenge they have faced along the way. Each of the young people now will speak from 3 to 5 minutes. So without further ado, I'd like to firstly invite Nirada Michelle from the Khmer community.
Good morning, everyone. So I was approached by my parents. So my mother, Sarati, is actually the principal of the Wanneroo Khmer School, to speak on behalf of ex-students, and particularly on our experiences as students and as adults when we moved on from the school. So I attended Wanneroo Khmer School from 1993 till 2000. So that was throughout preschool and primary school, and I left just before high school. So I don't think it's entirely uncommon for students to leave around that age, partly due to competing social interests and wanting to go to sports on Sunday rather than going to school.
Hi from the Thai community. We'd like to hear from you. Please welcome.
Love and passion for the arts. So for me, I really loved Thai dancing, and I was first exposed to that at the community language school. From being exposed to that, I occasionally still perform now, although I do tell everyone I'm a bit too old to perform. But it's something that I keep and I treasure very much close to my heart. So attending Thai school was the beginning of my journey as a young ambassador of Thailand here in Australia. Possibly I do claim that myself, not sure where the community passes that to me, but that's really where I fell in love with Thailand.
Samadhi. My name is Janari and I'm currently in year 11 studying year 12 next term. I was born in Australia into a Laos family and that's always been something that stuck with me since my language, my culture. So I studied at La Lang San Saturday School from a very young age because my grandfather had taken me there. And I studied it every Saturday of the school term until starting high school. I had sports. So sports was a commitment for me, so I kind of ditched Saturday school to go play sports with friends and for my team because it's a commitment. And well, it was something to let go of.
So when I came to Australia, I was 13 and I grew up learning my language. I studied Burmese and in my community we spoke our ethnic languages, which is branching from Burmese. So other languages like Karenni and Karen and such. And so I come to Australia when I was around 11 years old and I studied in Australian school and after I graduated, they needed, like in our community where I live in Wollongong, they needed an interpreter because there wasn't anyone who could translate in English and in our language. And so I, to the best of my ability, I became an interpreter and facilitated communications. And I found that like some of the, so thank you for listening.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you so much for sharing that. I do relate to that. So language played a different role. Interpreter, you can use your language everywhere, at school, at home. I have a similar experience when I firstly arrived in Australia.
Some people say you can't study in school, but yes, you can study, we just can't go. It's all over, we've got to be
Hello, my name's Renee. I'm a PC at the Khmer Boundary Public School.
She's standing, so you have to stand.
You have to stand because you can't.
Yes.
Okay.
So if the question is related to you, you have to. Okay?
Okay.
Change your place.
Change your place if you not wear the skirt.
Yes. Okay. Potato. Carrot. Tomato. Cucumber. Green pepper. Yes. And you? You? Yeah.
If you have finished a task, you can go and find a task.
It's the easy one. That's the beginning of it. But in between, you've got comprehension, application, analysis. So the teacher is really pushing, using this tool to push the kids to get more points. They want to get more points and they work together, but they're kind of pushing them to go higher end. But if they can't, that's okay. They can still operate around here. So each of the
alphabet by a certain age, which is fair enough, but that would not acknowledge languages and being biliterate. They wouldn't acknowledge the experience of learning a second or a third language or speaking another language or languages at home. It would dismiss the whole range of diversity that children.
Activity. Are they ready before they take up this activity? So this is build up a level. That's why it's a good idea. Make sure that your whole school build into the different level. For example, you have designed this scope and sequence the whole year, you can.
And we don't have any story, so we have finger. This finger. Hello.
Juice, okay.
Now